Welcome all to the LFC Daytrippers and the countdown to kick-off. This is live and exclusive reporting here from Dublin. My brother from another mother and Conroy is reporting all the way from Scotland. And look, the weather's been great here, but when me and Conroy is around, there's always sunshine. Isn't that right, Conroy? How's things with you, mate?
No, doing good, mate. Doing good, mate. Pleasure to be here. As I say, brand new show that thankfully Darren here and the Daytrippers invited me to be on, and I'm absolutely buzzing to be here. It's a countdown to kick-off show, and first match before I'll get a wee practice in with the pre-season against Mainz. So, yeah, mate, absolutely buzzing. How are you feeling? You looking forward to the match?
Yeah, great. Delighted, as I said, soaking up the sun here in Dublin. Obviously, get to Liverpool now close enough in the new season, I'm hoping to. But yeah, really looking forward to the match. I think today, I was just saying to you off air there, Conroy, is the start of the first real friendly. The 2 half-an-hour show, they were more of a, if you want to call it a warm-up friendly, but today is more competitive.
Training session, yeah.
Yeah, today is more competitive. And look, Mainz, you know, it's Liverpool against Mainz. It's in the Basque zone of Austria. Liverpool, big affiliation, I would say, with Mainz. Well, Jurgen Klopp would. I mean, he's managed there for 7 years, the longest serving ever manager as well, by the way. And he's played from a centre-back for 11 years. I think it was from 90 up to 2001. So he's obviously a big affiliation with them. We played them in 2016 in a friendly. We were beaten 4-0, but we were really awful that day, and we were only getting to, obviously, grips with the whole pre-season. But hopefully it's not like that today. Hopefully it's a good run out for Liverpool. It's all about getting the concentration, the focus in towards the new season, about getting lads match fit, about experimenting. That seems to be happening today, obviously, looking at the lineup. And I'm really looking forward to a first of a few friendlies and less than a month away now to the big kick-off at Carrow Road.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. I think as well, just to let everyone know, we've got the ticker, which I didn't even know what that meant before Gav showed us earlier. So thanks, mate. And shout out to the tweets of the Daytrippers on Twitter, like retweeting us coming on. Really appreciate it. Me and Daz have watched it for a long time, so it's kind of, it's a bit surreal. So really appreciate that. But as I say, we've got the team at the bottom there. As you can see, we've got Kelleher, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, as me and Daz presumed. We wrote an agenda before it, so we're happy he's starting, because if he didn't, that would be very annoying. Got Matip, got Tsimikas, Milner, Keita, Elliott in the midfield free, which is, as we said, that's a bit exciting, mate. Interesting to see how that goes. Mane, Salah, and it does look like, yet again, Oxlade Chamberlain playing in number 9 position, possibly a false 9. And then the bench there, as you can see, Nat Phillips coming back into the bench, which is, again, an interesting one with the Brighton rumours that have been going about. But what do you think first, Daz? First point, mate, what are you thinking about Ox false 9? Because let's be honest, this is probably one of the main talking points. What's your thoughts on Ox being there?
I'm pleased for Ox. Look, I'm a big admirer of Ox, and obviously we said off air Jurgen Klopp is as well too. Look, he's getting now, you could say, to a stage in his career where he just has to avoid injuries. He's going to be 28 next month. He's been towards the latter end of last season. He looked very explosive, dynamic coming on for us. He was real creative, just going for goal. He was taking on players. He was even coming back, dropping that bit deeper in midfield. He was laying in on tackles. So towards the end of the season, I thought Ox was one of the better squad players that we used. He was coming on very late in games. I thought it's very hard to bring lads on and expect them to do a lot when there's only 10-15 minutes to go. But obviously he got that goal then at Burnley, and he's he's good squad harmony, hasn't he, Ox? I mean, he's one of the jokers of the squad. He's obviously great mates with Robbo, Hendo, Milner. We see it on Instagram, social media. So from my point of view, I'm just delighted to see Ox being given a chance, and there's talk of him being a number 9. I think that's a role he can evolve in and obviously get better. And if he keeps Firmino on his feet, then I'll be better, because we know there's competition isn't too stern in the Liverpool team up top end, especially when you look at last season when we had the injuries. And when it comes to worst case scenario like that, you're not getting you just need more strength and depth and need more like for like. But I think if Ox stays fit, absolutely all day long, you know.
It's an interesting one, mate, because there'll be some people watching. Shouts to the comments, been fantastic already. We'll get into some of them. Yeah, Chris Brack, Finner's my mate. Yeah, there's loads. Amazing, guys. Really appreciate it. But the thing with Ox is, like, it's a strange one, mate, because the one thing I would say is I'm very much on the boat that we need a proper number 9. Said it for a while now. Said it since I've been on YouTube. But what I would say, mate, is if you're going to play a false 9, right, now, Firmino, let's be honest, he's done his job, but when it comes to technical ability, Ox is not better than Firmino at holding it in, stuff like that. But obviously he's doing something in training. And again, you've got to give him, obviously Klopp knows what he's doing, so it's going to be really interesting. But some of the questions here, mate, just because the comments were on it, I'll ask you, Daz, right now. So, Chris M, how you doing, mate? He's asking, do you think with Elliott being in midfield, do you think it will be a 4-2-3-1? Or shout out to Finners, he's saying it could be a 4-4-2 diamond. What's your thoughts on that, Daz? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I would like to think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. Then again, it could be just the 4-2-3, you know, where that's Salah, Ox, Mane, because I know before, a couple of weeks ago, just as the season was over, there's a lot of talk of Salah playing more central this season. You know, he's obviously played bits of it there last season and done really well, and he's a most prolific goal scorer. But as a number 9, I don't know. But look, I mean, it's all about experimenting. It's about, you know, in pre-season, what the lads do in training, what they can do, obviously, in these more, let's say, competitive games in the friendly. So, yeah, again, I'm not 100% sure what way we're going to actually line up, because we haven't seen the proper layout on LFC TV yet. It hasn't been announced. But yeah, I'm happy with either, you know. But it's interesting what Finner said there about the diamond as well.
Yeah, shout out to Delwyn Jones. How you doing, mate? He's saying he thinks Elliott will play in the number 10 role. I've got to go with that. I do think it'll be a 4-2-3-1. The only thing I would say is we've tried that in the past. Maybe there's a few friendlies we've done well, but in a lot of, you know, league games, it's not, or you know, Champions League games, it's not went that well. In our heads, I think we play FIFA, play Pro Evolution Soccer, or eFootball as it is now, and it's like, it works great because you can get Bobby in the 10 or whoever in the 10. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes today. But obviously, main topic as well, Daz, would be, are you excited to see Konate in a first-time full competitive game, not a half-an-hour training session game? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, there's been a big circus about Konate signing, hasn't it? We've seen all the pyros on social media. I mean, he's really hyped himself up.
Maybe one of the best intro videos ever, Daz. Possibly, mate. Possibly, mate.
It's in competition with this intro now, isn't it, for the new kickoff?
Oh, yeah. Fair shout to Gav. He managed to make my face look good in that picture for that intro. So well done, mate. You've done what others can't, because I'm the most unphotogenic person in the world. So well done, Gav, mate.
Good work, Gav. Yeah, no, I am looking forward to Konate. He's very composed, compact centre half. I haven't seen a whole lot of him.
Still there, Daz? I think Daz is cut out. I thought it might have been me, but I'm still here. In the comments, can you still hear me? Just say yes if you can. I think Daz is cut out. I'm hoping so anyway. I'm still going. Yes. Right. So, yeah, back to the lineup. I think Daz was going to say we're looking forward to seeing Konate and see how he performs. And it'll be interesting to see, because I feel like a lot of people have already said he's going to start. But it'll be an interesting one, because start the season. Yes, and great guys. I thought I was talking to myself there, so thanks for that. But I feel like Konate will be important to watch, because I feel like a lot of people after the intro video were already saying that, you know, he's coming back and he'll start the game in front of Gomez in the season, Norwich. Obviously, Gomez and Van Dijk are still coming back. But for me, Matip is already proven what he can do. Yes, he's fitness concerns, but it'll be very interesting to watch Konate in these Daz said, these 3-4 games coming up. Very intrigued to see how that goes, because I do feel that I'm not as think he's there yet as other people do. So let me know in the comments what you think about Konate. Do you think he'll start against Norwich first game of the season, and how do you think he'll play today? Obviously, he's got unreal pace, so it does allow us to play the high line, which I know it gives us a heart attack sometimes. It would be very interesting to see next season. But yeah, I'll wait to try, and Daz should get back in the now. I think his internet's had a bit of a they pulled the plug on him there. But yeah, just in the comments, guys, just let me know what's your thoughts on the game today. Who do you think will play well? Who do you think will shine? Obviously, great to see Elliott play, and very interesting. I thought he'd play on right wing, but yet again in midfield. Just shout out to Kevin Ball, mate. Konate will need time, but don't feel like Gomez and I agree. Sorry, mate. That was my I mispronounced that what I was saying there. I think possibly Klopp will go for Matip, but then you never know. I think Konate might impress in these games, but I know Matip's, we know his body doesn't handle it, but as a defender, I think he's the second best defender at Liverpool. But you know, it'll be interesting to see. Konate could play very well, but fair enough, good shout, mate. Ali, how you doing, mate? Conroy, there's no Davis in the squad. The rumours he is going. What is your thoughts? Let's be honest, guys. I think when we purchased him and the lack of training or even first team games he's had, I do feel like Liverpool, when they got him, I'll just get back in this Gavs here. But I do think that overall, Davis was bought at a cheap price because I think at the time Celtic were in for him to take him. And it just, I feel like Liverpool saw that they could get him in for a bit of cover if needed and they can make a profit on him. So that's what I think will happen now. Chris Brack, I think Konate and Matip and we'll need more time. 100% agree. Very good point on that. But it will be interesting to see how Konate gets on because I say I'm not as sold as other people are yet. Hi Gav, how you doing?
Sorry, Darren just legged it, did he on you?
He's basically done it, mate. No, I'm joking. He's probably freaking out right now, so it's fine. I've used to doing streams myself, so I usually just talk. Thankfully, the comments have been flying in about Daz has done a runner. No, I'm only joking. But
no, I just thought I'd drop in. I seen you on your own. I said I better jump in here and give you a hand out, dig out until we get Darren back.
No, thanks, Gav. As I say, the comments have been great, and we're just talking about Konate there, and also it'd be interesting to see him. I know most likely Van Dijk and Gomez won't be back for the first game, but what about yourself, Gav? Do you feel like, obviously, the great intro video, we're joining the team, and he's looked good at parts for Leipzig, but do you think he's there yet? Do you think he'll, if everyone's fit, he'll start, or do you think Gomez and Matip would start ahead?
I think Konate will definitely start the first day of the season, because if you look at it now, we're late July. We have a week left in July.
Yeah.
So we have 3 weeks till the season, and Van Dijk and Gomez don't look like to be involved today. They're not involved today. And then I think we have another week's break, 8 days break, until we play 9 days break actually, until we play these 2 home games. There's nothing scheduled in between these now. I think we're literally in Austria for a little while. We come back and we play 2 games at Anfield, and I don't know if you'll see Van Dijk or Gomez there either. So I think it'd be a massive risk to think that Van Dijk or Gomez.
What about Phillips? What about Phillips? Do you think if Phillips not going, maybe he's proven more to start?
No, I think if Matip and Konate are fit, I think that's your starting.
Fair enough. I usually try to go against the hype with it because I always, loyal to people who perform. But fair enough, I do think he'll be. They'll be playing the line at the edge of the box with the pace we've got at the back next season.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Phillips done amazing for Liverpool last season. Even Reece Williams done really well when he was called upon for such a young guy with very little experience, bar I think a loan spell at Stevenage or something like that. And they've done brilliant.
Kidderminster as well.
Kidderminster, I think you might be right. But the thing is, like, they done brilliantly, don't get me wrong. And, Kabak is obviously not at the club anymore. So you're looking at Van Dijk, you're looking at Gomez, you're looking at Konate, you're looking at Matip, and you're looking at Phillips. Ben Davies, I don't think will make it. But
the ironic thing is Liverpool will probably make a profit in Ben Davies. That is the ironic thing.
They will. There's no doubt about that. But when it comes down to the first game at Norwich, I don't know how much last season counts. I don't know how much last season counts for who he's going to pick for Norwich. I think, like, if Matip, let's put it this way, if Matip was fit at the back end of last season, he would have played. He would have played every game. We wouldn't have picked Phillips over him. And Konate's coming in at 36 million quid. So I don't, and he's there on first day of training. He's training every day. He's played 30 minutes the other day. He's going to play probably the majority today, maybe 45, and he's ready. And if he's ready and he's paid that money for him, I think you're looking at Thiago.
Can't argue with that logic.
Yeah. You're looking at Konate. You're looking at Konate and you're looking at Matip, and you're looking at probably Phillips on the bench. Because I don't. Somebody says there we played Berlin on Thursday. I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know. Oh, I did know that. Yeah, sorry, I did know that because we played next Thursday.
Because you messaged me.
Because I messaged you. Yeah, I have it in my head. We were just going back and having the laugh at Anfield. But no, we did. We play next Thursday against Berlin, and you're dead right. But I don't see Van Dijk being involved there. I don't see Gomez being involved there. So it's one of those where I think you've seen Matip and Konate being paired now, and I think that's a definite plan. When they're all fit, who cares who plays, Conroy? Yeah, they're all fit.
So you have great options. Need depth, mate. No, great. I was a big fan of what Nat Phillips done, so I just wanted to get that in just to give him a little praise because it could be away to Brighton next week. So that's my praise for Nat Phillips. But the other thing I was going to talk about, Gav, was quite a big topic is Harvey Elliott again playing in the midfield. Now, me and Darren had just spoke about it. Daz had spoke about it there before he'd done the runner. You think would be 4-2-3-1 possibly? Do you agree with that, or do you think it would be more of a standard free in midfield?
Looking at the makeup of it, I think he'll go be a bit more of a 4-2-3-1 shape. Because I don't know if I could put Milner there to cover your back four on his own. You look how hard the job it is, especially in the side we have, with Tsimikas and Alexander-Arnold today are gonna go. They're gonna go forward, and that's it. And Fabinho does an unbelievable job in there on his own with the two lads either side of him to protect. So looking at the makeup of that midfield, I think he might go with it too. I don't think you put Milner there in your own. I don't think you put Keita there in his own. But Keita has always been, pushed up to people as he's great in it too. He was in Leipzig, he played in it too. So maybe they're looking to see how he does in that. And we're definitely going to have to change the way we play in certain parts of next season. We can't just keep doing a 4-3-3 and going for it, the sort of way. So I think you'll probably see Milner and Keita holding there, and it gives Elliott a chance to play. Either side of him, you have Salah and you have Salah and Mane with Oxlade training, of course, and that kind of false nine. And to be honest with you, I love the 4-3-3, especially when you have Henderson on one side and say Thiago on the other, and even Wijnaldum before he left, because he worked so hard at helping the fullbacks. But when you have two in there, you can kind of shift over and double. But there's a lot of work for two in there when they're moving left to right. But I can't see him leaving one person on their own there.
No, completely agree, mate. I also like the point you said about we need to change it up a bit. I've watched your show quite a lot as well, and the thing of last season that done my head in, to be honest, was I was going to say a Scottish phrase there, but not everybody might understand that one. But I do feel that there's times where definitely team plays a low block and it's just like, oh, that's it, that's the excuse. So we definitely change it up, be adaptable, try different formations. So I think it's actually quite refreshing if they try a 4-2-3-1, especially with Elliott in midfield. He obviously must be doing the right things in training. So yeah, I'm very excited to watch him. Another thing I was going to just mention, Gav, was do you think Tsimikas, realistically, his job is to cover Robbo? Being Scottish, I'm going to say that anyway, but I think he's proved that.
And you're right.
But do you think, I hear a lot of people saying, Robbo does need rest to a certain extent, but for me, Andy Robertson will play 90% of the games anyway. I think if he is a bit, different, he's a bit like even playing in the Euros, those 3 games for Scotland were 3 his best performances, especially for Scotland, and there's been issues in the past with that. So I just wondered, what's your thoughts? Do you think that, how much do you think Tsimikas will actually feature this season if he is ready to go?
I'm going to answer this and then I'm going to let Darren back in. He's come back. He's come back from, I don't know where
he's come back from. He's
back. But Tsimikas, listen, he came in and he plays against, or in Austria last summer as well, and I think he plays against Stuttgart, I think. And I like the look of him. I like the way he plays football. He passes it really well. He fizzes balls into people and he looks to get forward. And he's a really good left foot on him. And
technically very good, yes.
I think he's technically excellent.
Passes,
I think he's excellent. And you know something, he gets injured. He's explained it himself. He gets 2 injuries and COVID. So like we've seen players just get COVID last season and have a massive effect on them for the vast majority of the season. I think Mane is one of those, to be honest. But when you look at Tsimikas, I find people will say to you, oh, will he get games? Well, yeah, he will get games. He'll definitely get League Cup games. I think he'll get FA Cup games. I think you might even see him start at home in the Champions League, depending on what way our group turns out. Yeah, and not only that, a massive thing is if you're playing at Anfield or away from home and you're 3-0 up with 25 to go, put him on and take your full back off. And that's huge for Andy Robertson. If Andy Robertson does that in 4 games, it means that he's missed 100 minutes of football, which is a full game of football. So he's getting a full game off a month if you can get Tsimikas on the pitch to cover for him, or throw him in from the start if you're comfortable. Because I think, from what I've seen of him playing, he's I think he's a really good fullback, and I think he's very like Andy Robertson. I think he is. I'm not saying he isn't, but I think he's very similar in the way they play.
I think a surprising move for me, Gav, was Tsimikas. For me, I thought when I watched him, especially like Olympiacos against Arsenal, I thought he'd be, gunning for a first team spot somewhere. And obviously backs himself. I'm not saying that, but at that time, Andy Robertson's, he is one of the best left backs in the world, but especially the season before. It's quite a surprising one. I agree. I think we've probably got one of the best. On his day, I think he's technically very, very good, Tsimikas. So be interesting to see. But I will bring Daz back in now. Just get
you bring Darren in and I'm leaving. Good luck.
Thanks for your help, guys.
No problem at all. I hope everyone's enjoying the show.
Sorry, lads, there a few technical difficulties on
It's all
the
right,
daily.
mate.
It was not good.
Done a runner on me. Basically, Daz has been he's been in the WhatsApp after that, been absolutely done him there. No, I'm only joking, mate. It was fine. Gav in the comments have been brilliant, but we're just talking about Elliot there, and we spoke about also Tsimikas and how obviously Gav feels as well that he's technical. Both agree he's technically a very good player and could do a job this season. I don't think he'll get as many games because it is Andy Robertson and he is quite a freak when it comes to fitness. But I think he'll play a bit more, said FA Cup and League Cup games. So it'll be very interesting. On other things, Daz, what would you say to Finner's just put a comment there about Beck and Gordon, hoping to see some of the. I mean, Elliot's very young as well. But what do you think? What's your thoughts on some of the youth prospects we've not seen a lot of? What would your thoughts towards them? Maybe getting some game time in the second half today.
Well, Gordon is a very young lad, isn't he? 16k Gordon, so he's doing really well for himself from what we see and what we hear. Owen Beck as well, he's just being promoted and given a contract. So again, these lads have serious potential. It's just obviously the ball's in their court in full control. Obviously, if they're okay with injuries, etc., they can go far in the game and enhance their chances and get into the Liverpool first team. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on, because obviously it's going to be a big pre-season for them. But we have to be realistic as well at the same time, because them lads are more for the future, more so than the near future. You know what I mean? But you never know. I mean, are they going to be the next big prospect coming out of the academy? Hopefully, because that's improved for us in the last couple of seasons. We've seen it with Curtis Jones, we've seen it with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they've been local lads as well. I know these lads are not all local lads that's coming through for us, but let's wait and see. It's promising, isn't it, for the two young lads? And there's a couple more as well that's around that have travelled, isn't there?
I think they've got so look, we've got the lineup there. We've got Connor Bradley as well, Owen Beck. So it's an interesting one. I think Kevin Ball, shout out, mate. He's saying Gordon's a class act, not ready yet this season, but definitely has a lot of potential. I think the thing is, we'll look at what Elliot done as well, getting experience. I do think that's important. I feel like the Jones and the Trent, that's an anomaly in my opinion on the way football goes now. You probably need to get that first team experience. But Absolutely. Sometimes you can sink or swim with that. Look at Ben Woodburn. You know, he's it's worked out the wrong way for him. So it's interesting. But another one I was going to ask you on Daz. It was a quick one. Obviously, Daz is obviously a German correspondent this week, and he's done some research on Mainz. So take it away, mate. Some of the fun facts you had about them.
Yeah, well, look, they got was a 14th. They finished last season in the Bundesliga. It was 12th. They finished 12th, ended up finishing it. They won 10 games and lost 18, so they've lost a lot of games in Bundesliga. Their first game up is the 15th of August, so it's obviously the Sunday, the day after we kick off at Carrow Road. They play RB Leipzig, so they're going to be gearing up to that. But, I mean, I'm not going to say they just about stayed in the league, because I think there's 18 teams in the Bundesliga, so they got 14. So they would have done okay for the club, but they're going to look to enhance. And from the bit of research I've done, they're going to want to do bigger and better things next season. And a lot of their fans are want to be going to finish in at least 10th or above and be more competitive in the cup competition. So there's no doubt about it. They'll be geared up for today, and they'll want to make the most out of a fresh start, a new season. It's a pre-season. It's against Liverpool. The last time they played us, they beat us 4-0 in a friendly. I know that's not going to have any kind of
but listen, you know that
into today. But they'll, that'll be the mentality going into it, and they'll feel, look, we've done one over Klopp before, we've done one over Liverpool. Let's get a fresh start and let's get prepared for the season ahead. They did win a friendly the other night. They were playing. They won 2-1 against Wolfsburger Kickers. They played so. It wasn't that convincing. They had a lot of youth lads, and they hadn't got in the
similar
first team.
Similar
to ourselves, So, but today will be the big one for them. And as I said, just as the start of this program, that it's the same for Liverpool as well. This is a huge game that Liverpool will look at in terms of it's a big friendly. It's a lot of people have points to prove. A lot of people are playing for positions, and as we just mentioned, Ox trying to play for number 9, etc. So. There's big onus on these games for the lads to perform and to put in the work. And we know the Liverpool background team, Jurgen Klopp in particular, will want the lads working hard and the attitude to be 100%.
No, I agree, mate. Just the last thing on Mainz, because we said we'd do a little bit on them. It's always a Liverpool show, but just so we're not completely We're 99% Liverpool, not as biased, a little bit of research. But it was Klopp was their longest serving manager, did you tell me, Daz?
Yeah,
is that right?
7 seasons. He's the longest serving manager. So that was his first club he managed. Obviously, he was a centre back there and had his days of injuries. I think he didn't make I don't think it was close to, it was 300 and something appearances, but it wasn't that close to 400. So in the 11 years, that's not a lot of appearances when you think of it. So he obviously had his fair share of injuries and stuff and didn't get in as much as he would have liked him to do. But we've all seen on YouTube the goal he gets and he goes wild for Mainz. You know what I mean? But there's a big affiliation there, and he is the longest serving manager there. It's hard to believe that no one's been there.
No, it's 7 years. It's a fun fact. Now, Daz, I think what we'll do is you just to let everyone know, the usual aim of these are about maybe 30 to 35 minutes. Usually that's what we're going for with these kind of after the teams get announced. Obviously Daz had a little bit of an interim break there, but genuinely, Daz, I was going to ask is just a few comments for some of the comments have been outstanding again. Is man like Shawnee, how you doing, mate? Thanks. I just say my worry, Elliot, is where does he get game time this season? Right wing number 10 or a number 8? I struggle to see where he gets his minutes. What's your thoughts on that, Daz?
It's a good question, but it depends, I suppose, because obviously last season none of us would have foreseen the injuries we had. COVID's still going to be around, although you'd imagine there's going to be a lot less of it and positive cases and stuff. We just had every bad thing that could have went against us last season did, particularly on the injury front. So, but you'd never know with midfield this season. I mean, no one has come in with Genie at the leaving. There's I'm not going to say Harvey Elliott's going to come in and do that, but we know Harvey's very explosive. He's had that season experience at Blackburn, the Championship. He's had good goals. We've seen him was recently a tattoo as well and associating himself with Liverpool. So look, the boy wants to come to Liverpool and do well, and this is a big chance for him to show the attitude, the discipline, what he's about as well, creativity-wise, and the hunger and aggression he has in pre-season. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. But again, look, I don't know. I'd imagine he's going to be given time, because you have to remember as well, Conroy, we've struggled in the domestic cups in the last couple of seasons, and I honestly think this season and going forward will prioritise wanting to do better than them. And I think
I say that every summer, mate. I say that every summer, and we'll never take the League Cup or FA Cup. I hope you're right. But
I hope so. Yeah.
A few of the comments are saying he can't play right wing. Well, it's interesting one with Harvey Elliott, because a lot of people saying he's not got pace, but there's some players you just don't. If you're smart and you're intelligent and you know where to put the ball, hold people off, you don't necessarily need to be explosive. But it'll be interesting, Daz. Obviously, Klopp feels that's where he can progress going forward. So he's got time on his side. But another question I was going to say, just before we go for a few more comments, it was Kev O'Sullivan saying one of Klopp's ex-players is the Mainz manager, apparently. So, Kev, thanks very much, mate. I wasn't aware of that. So, that's great knowledge.
We're learning more and more about Mainz.
Kev. No, I know. But it's great to say on the point as well, when we're talking about Mainz, what do you think the score will be today, Daz? We'll go for a bit of comments at the end before we finish up, but what do you think the score will be today? Bear in mind, it will be probably two different sides for 45 minutes.
It's going to be two different sides, and I think, look, now's the time to get the mistakes out, isn't it? I think Mainz get goals. I think we get goals. I'm going to go, I don't know why, but I'm just going to say 4-2 Liverpool. I think we win this. I think this for us, we've a big point to prove as well. Look, pre-season, I don't ever read too much into, particularly the results. It's not about the results. It's about, as I said earlier on this, experimenting, focus, concentration for the new season, about the attitude, discipline, lads bedding in, players being given a chance, new players coming in, players going out, this sort of stuff. So I'm not going to pay too much heed to that, but I think we win. I think, look, being a Liverpool fan, a Liverpool channel, we don't have to say that, of course, but I don't see us past winning. I think we'd be ready for it. I think Konate and Matip a centre-back I like, and I think just listening to you and Gav as I come in there, could be the start of a partnership for the new season.
I was trying to play the devil's advocate, but I didn't do very well against Gav. I think he put me on place out very quickly, so fair enough.
Okay,
no, I hear what you're saying, mate. I feel like,
But Kelleher as well, the Irish keeper, he's kept clean sheets last season in the Champions League for us. He's done well. So again, he's going to have a point to prove. It sounds like from the rumours coming out of Liverpool that he's going to be number 2 ahead of Adriano, be number 3.
Deservedly, I think. I think Kelleher was brilliant against Wolves. I remember it was what's it called? Podence tries to chip him from outside the box. Great effort, unbelievable save. Was it Ajax as well who played in the Champions League? I might be wrong.
Ajax a clean sheet.
It's really good. I've been very impressed. It's actually just a bit ironic, but Emi Martinez and Kelleher played in the 5-5 game. Both of them were about 2 out of 10 in that game. They were both horrible. right? Made loads of mistakes for all the goals, and now look at them now. I mean, Martinez just won Copa America and it was amazing for Villa last season.
Got a big
so it
move
is
to
funny.
Villa from Arsenal,
and Kelleher has improved massively as well. So fair play to the kid; he's done really well. But obviously, scorer-wise, I think I'll go for 2-0 Liverpool, and I'll copy Chris Brack and say I think if Jota is on the bench, so I would say Salah and Mane, 2-0 Liverpool. That's what I'd go for. But
I'm gonna go for Ox, Salah, Mane, and Harvey Elliott to score 4-2. That's who I'm going for, but we'll see.
Fair enough. Very interesting, mate. I'll just look at the last couple of comments here just before. Anything else you want to add to that, Daz? I think we can maybe go to 32 or 33 just because obviously I had a little bit of
we can go a little
technical
bit over,
issues.
We've a bit of technical issues here with the Virgin Wi-Fi, unfortunately. It doesn't happen normally, but of course it happens on the day.
That's sod's law, mate. Get
the mistakes out in pre-season,
That's it, mate. But honestly, it's just one of those things that happens. Happened to me a few times as well. But yeah, I just say on the whole, I'm actually very excited to watch Liverpool in a game that's, the last one for me, I found it hard to really get into because to me you can maybe argue pre-season is just training games, but specifically half an hour aside, I couldn't really get into it. But today, looking forward to see the teams. Is there anything else or any other players you want to speak about regarding the game, Daz? I mean, we've mentioned Ox, Tsimikas, Elliott, Konate, and score predictions. Is there anything specifically you wanted to address, mate?
Well, look, Mane had a poor enough season last season, hadn't he, from his standards, and he came out and admittedly said that. So I think this again is a fresh slate for Mane. Get that hunger, get that aggression back, get that kind of what would I say, the attitude he had before. When Mane never played great, he was always tracking back, he was always a handful. When he got that ball, he was always looking to beat players. We didn't see a lot of that last season. We've seen a lot of he didn't work hard enough for me. And look, he wasn't the only one. There was a lot of games last season. You would have heard me on streams, Conroy, that I was frustrated about because, okay, with injuries and okay, with COVID and everything else and no fans. And don't get me wrong, that was a huge factor. But there were games, it's particularly when you go back to some of those games where we lost 6 of them at Anfield and didn't score a goal, broke a record, by the way. That never happened in the club's existence. So I just felt there was a lot of players that just didn't do enough in those. But look, I suppose the excuse was fatigue. It was a long season. There was an extra month's football condensed into a month less and stuff. So I would like to see Mane hit the ground running, not just in pre-season. Look, pre-season, it's not all about that, but particularly from the start of the season. But he'll have to train hard in pre-season. He'll have to work to get to there. So I would like to see Mane doing well because there's no doubt about it, he's going to stay and we all love him. He's been an unbelievable asset for us. And hopefully he can find his feet for next season and do what he does best, scores, and is a handful, isn't he? Aggressive for the opposition.
Great point, mate. I think I read his comment or his quote earlier on today, or when it was yesterday, but I saw it today, and he was just saying you could tell that he's aware, and you would be aware, obviously, he's performed quite poorly apart from the last game. He had a few reasonable moments in that, but overall his performances weren't up to it, or even to the level he set himself, but he was quite poor. But I think he's aware of that, and I feel like I do like to maybe hear the honesty from players when they say that he's looking forward to the next season, what he can improve. For me, I don't think he's over the hill. Some people were saying it last year. I just think, to me, when we signed him for Southampton, I thought he was inconsistent, and I was proved massively wrong because he'd been consistent for 4 years. And I just feel like he was allowed that bad patch there, and I think he'll come back. I think he'll probably be better for it, to be honest, mate. And I'm actually excited to see how he performs today. So it's a great point, Daz, that, mate. And I feel like he'll be the one I'll be watching most pre-season as Mane, just to see little things, just see if he's got that confidence again, see if he shoots. So many times last season, it's like he actually beats a man, trying it all game, beats a man, he gets to it, and he just doesn't look, he's got confidence to, pull the trigger. So hopefully he gets that back again. Confidence is huge in football, mate, and hopefully he gets there. But
what about Minamino as well? A point on him, on Taki. I mean, look, when he got that loan move to Southampton, he's got a cracker goal against Chelsea, didn't he? And we were in a WhatsApp group, and a lot of people were, we should have kept him.
It was Newcastle first, mate. Newcastle first, and
Newcastle, and then Chelsea. That's right, actually. Yeah, thanks for that. But look, look, Minamino, he comes in, COVID is heavy. He's moved from a different country. He's come in, had no human contact with people as much as players would. It's always hard moving in January, but particularly when Minamino come in, he comes in late in January. February, COVID hits. March, there's no fans, and we didn't really get a good run, did he? I've heard people. There's been a bit of a narrative that he's been too weak and hasn't been strong enough. But I've seen in games him being strong, bossing, games, getting good shots on goals, getting assists, even scoring goals. But I just feel he needs a good run, and pre-season is obviously a great time for that to happen. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on Minamino as well. What happens? Does he stay? And if he does stay, is he going to be up to the task ahead, or will he be gone? Because it's hard to know with him, isn't it, really, at the moment?
Well, see, the thing is, mate, I do think this splits opinion, because you see Kevin Ball, thanks for the comment, mate. Kevin said Taku's finished after the FA Cup game against Villa. I think he got assist in that game, actually, but I hear what you're saying. See, the thing for me is, a lot of people say, he's no stronger, but see, the thing is, there's certain positions you have to have a bit about you, don't get me wrong, but you don't necessarily need to be incredible. It's just you're intelligent. Look at Yossi Benayoun, right? Obviously had to get now and again, but there's intelligence in players, and I do see a player in Taki, but I feel unfortunately, Daz, your point's fair. I can't see it with us, because to me he looks like he's a second striker.
I think so. Yeah,
I'd probably Stevie Naismith. I know it's not many Everton fans watching, but like a Stevie Naismith when he was at Everton, like playing, because he played for Scotland a lot, playing kind of behind the striker, like not actual proper second striker, and linking the play. I feel like he might be good at that. I just, even as a 10, there's players ahead of him for that role if you're going to play a 4-2-3-1, possibly Firmino. I just feel like it's not going to work out. But fair enough, mate. It'll be interesting to see what he does. But for me, I think Liverpool might cut their losses on him in this window, to be honest, mate. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. And look, at that, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's always hard at Liverpool, isn't it, when you're loaned out to come back and redo what you're brought in to do. So let's wait and see, though. But look, this is a chance for him, if he's any chance, I think, in this pre-season. And we see there he's on the bench today, so I'm sure he might come on at half time or some stage of the game. I'd imagine the second half, with Jota or Origi there as well. So it'll be interesting, though, to see. And he's one definitely to watch, I think.
Fair enough, mate. I think Kev Sullivan, a drop-off forward and a 4-4-2. Great shout, mate. Kind of like that. You know, it's like in behind, linking up. It's where a player can take it, pass it off, and use. Because I do think he's always intelligence. Performance with Salzburg against Liverpool, you saw that. But yeah, it'll be interesting, Daz. It really will. But yeah, mate, anything else? I'm just trying to think if there's any other players you wanted to discuss in the lineup. I'm just having a look at on my screen here. Here's a question for you, mate. Out of that bench, how many players do you think will be here at the end of the window? Forget the young players, the youth players. I'm just talking about the ones we're probably looking to sell.
Well, at the moment, there's talk. Obviously, isn't that Phillips going to Brighton, or if not, he's going to be gone. Look, obviously, the young lads, there's a lot of young lads as well. I would say will Origi go? I mean, the talk of that seems to have calmed down a bit, hasn't it? That he might stay on this season. If you look on Instagram and that, he looks prepared and ready for this new season. He seems to be working a lot harder even weeks before pre-season has started. So I would say, look, Curtis Jones is going to be there. Possibly Minamino won't be. Possibly Origi won't be. But I definitely don't think Phillips and Nico Williams will be there next season, from what the talk is at the moment. But that's only at the moment. There's still there's the 31st of August to go in the transfer window. So let's see what happens. But I think maybe the 2 months to go, and I think it's harsh on that.
You know what, mate? We'll not get too much into transfers, because I know there's been a lot of videos of the Daytrippers, which I've been watching this week. So shout out to all the guys. As I said earlier, been really supporters and are coming on for our debut show. So thank you very much. But I've got to be honest, mate. I'm very much against selling that, and I understand the logic behind it. If you can get the way the clubs ran, 15 million for him, completely get it. But to me, I just think he's a kryptonite against certain games for Liverpool, tricky away fixtures that he's proved to be great in. But then again, you look at the players in front of him, does he necessarily play? I do think he'd get some game time, and I would be sad if he left, to be honest, because I feel like the odds are stacked against him last season, and he came out on top, got his Champions League with Reece Williams next to him, and really showed that. And I just feel like, do you know what? He could have easily got forgotten about, and no one would ever remember him again. And I just feel like he's went against the norm. And I've got a lot of time for that. So that's my thoughts on Phillips. But I'll just go through if there's any last comments. But
yeah, I totally agree. Look, he made his debut back in October, West Ham. We win the game. Might have been, everyone thought at the time, a bit of a flash in the pan. It's his first game at Anfield, competitive. Okay, he's done well at centre-back, but he was colossus. He was brilliant. And from there on, I think most games you would say he's been man of the match for us. He's very composed, very compact. One of the big reasons why Reece Williams turned out to be as good as he was in the end. He obviously helped him mature in that role as centre back. And
mate, Champions League, mate. Wait,
yeah.
Nat Phillips and Reece Williams.
But even Old Trafford, I
unbelievable.
mean, he makes an error for the first goal. Fernandes scores deflected in. We're 1-0 down. Everyone's expecting United then to go on well. There's not really much talk about who's going to get the top four. Then he goes down Jordan, gets an assist. We brushed him aside 4-2, but the rest of the game, he's as solid as it can be. He's very composed. I said his awareness was great. Reading was really good. Does all the basics. Very Jamie Carragher-esque type of performance for a lot of last season, where he's not the fastest,
unbelievable in the air, mate.
But grit, determination, passion was all there, So to do that over the course of the season, I think he deserves better. But we'll wait and see what happens on that. That's still a bit.
I think he's decent technically. I'm not saying he's great, mate, but I do think he's better than people give him credit for, and he's developed very quickly after he had game times. Confidence is a lot in football. But shout out, mate. Badger and Pops LFC, how you doing? Thanks for listening in, mate. It says, if Nat's been offered first team football elsewhere, he might want to leave. Great point, mate. That could possibly be it. We've not got time to get into it today, but I don't know if he necessarily starts at Brighton in the sense the way Brighton play. Yes, they've got guys like Dan Burn, big, physical in air, but to play for Graham Potter, you have to be very good on the ball. And it might be him and someone else who replaces with a Ben White money. So it'll be interesting to watch out for. But great comment. But Daz, I think that's us coming close to the end. So I just wanted any final thoughts for the viewers and the comments who've been amazing today. So thanks very much, everybody. It's been outstanding. You've made us feel very at home for our first show. Yeah, just echoing what you said, Conroy. Amazing. Well done to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Remember to like, subscribe, and if you haven't, subscribe to this channel and obviously comment. And you can find myself on YouTube and on Instagram as well. Daz TV. I've only started it. It's a couple of months back and it's going okay. But remember to go over and drop a subscribe. And obviously, Conroy, you have your own YouTube and Conroy Talks, isn't it? People can find you as well. That's it. Yeah. People need to remind me to say that. Yeah, I've got a channel as well. So you want to check it out. And on Twitter, it'll be on the Daytrippers tweet for this show. So as I say, mate, that was very much really enjoyed it, and I'm very much looking forward to the game. And thanks again to everyone in the comments. You've been outstanding. So that's us. Shout out to you all and the LFC Daytrippers, the Gav, for getting us on. Thanks, much appreciated. And looking forward, obviously, to doing this now for every game coming up to the new season. League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League. So it'd be interesting to count down to kick off. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. The support's been phenomenal. Superb. Thanks to Gav. Thanks to all the Daytrippers as well for being supportive. It's been outstanding. It's actually been pretty amazing. It's been a great Friday, and that's from me. I was going to do the outro thing there from Strictly Come Dancing. I'm not going to do that, the Bruce Forsyth. I'm just going to say that's us. Thanks very much for tuning in. So everybody take care. See you soon. Cheers. That's a wrap. Cheers. Take care.